man, Scotty Bender here with another WrestleVision exclusive. We're here with H.C. Loke, former Extreme referee. H.C., we're not here for wrestling this week. We're here for Full Blown Zero. You're going to be playing later on, and we're going to get the exclusive on your new band. Talk a little bit about this new endeavor.
Right on, bro. Tonight, Corny, New York, Market Street's the only place to be. McClintock's. Not McClintock's, Bender, none of that stuff. McClintock's tonight. Full Blown Zero, checking it out. A version, drop clutch, opening up. But the main event, as if you will, the headliners of the night, Full Blown Zero. Cool.
Talk a little bit about the band. I mean, you were wrestling for a while. You left Ring of Honor. You decided to concentrate on another passion of yours, your music. Talk a little bit about Full Blown Zero, how you got together.
Right on, man. Never really left Ring of Honor, nothing like that. But, you know, there's something else I've always done. The guys in my band right now, they're my buddies. They've been my family forever. You know how it is. Been playing music my whole life with my buddy Brad. And my bass player, his name's Jim. He's been in the band forever. And Rod Burdick, he's our slamming guitar player. Everybody knows Dimebag Darrell, God bless him. That's the second coming, our guitar player, Rod Burdick. Anyway, yeah, we've been together for about a year and a half, recorded a new demo recently. Metal fans probably remember Soil, the band Soil. They had a big hit called Halo. And he's the new lead singer for them. He produced our record. And things are going real well, man. Getting a lot of national attention. Metal fans will know, of course, Metal Edge magazine. We were lucky enough to have a two-page spread in there, which is really rare for an unsigned act. Unsigned, of course, meaning, for those who may not know, that we don't have a record deal yet, but that's shortly to come.
You started your wrestling career here, USWF. Talk a little bit about USWF. You started as a student, eventually went on to training. Talk a bit about the beginning.
Sure. That was cool. Bob Bailey, yeah, I think he still lives around here. Actually, I haven't talked to him in years. I miss him, Bob. If you're watching, I miss you. Give me a call. Anyway, yeah, that was almost 12 years ago now. In fact, it was more than 12 years. January 14th in 95 was the first day I walked into Cruncher's gym down there. And I was scared, man. I mean, you see my height, you know, and I was even fatter than I am now, if you can believe that. But anyway, I was thinking, oh, there's nobody my height. There's nobody my size in wrestling. You know, that's what I was thinking at the time. So maybe he'll let me sweep up. That's all. If I can go in there and just be around it, because I love it so much. Let me sweep up, be around the wrestlers. Maybe I can make him coffee, stuff like that. Luckily, Bob, I love you, you know, wanted my tuition. He didn't give a rat's how small I was, you know. So we went in there, and I got in the ring. Was too scared to screw up, if you can believe that. The guys go in there kind of cocky, and they want to be tough. Not me. I'm like, I didn't know what I was doing. Sure, sir, I'll do whatever you want me to do. And, of course, I like that attitude. And it slowly built from there. And it wasn't within a year. Actually, truth be told, people who know the wrestling industry know that this is way too soon. In less than a year, I was teaching that class. You know,
I think that people would be interested. You know, a lot of people, just to show that you know, you're an average guy. I mean, you were an assistant manager at Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, yeah.
Before wrestling, right?
For 3 years.
What's your favorite donut?
My favorite donut was that apple crumb donut that they made. I got to make those myself every night.
I had some of them. They were delicious.
Good donuts.
Hey. Well, hey, you know, if anything, you ever get injured in professional wrestling, you can always go back to.
Well, I got something to fall back on. That's we try to stress that in the school too.
That's very important.
Talk about some of the names that went through the USWF training. I mean, some of the fans out there in WrestleVision land definitely have heard of some of the people that you've crossed with.
Sure. Let me think on the WrestleVision people who they know. Big Papa Chill, of course. You know, he started with me. He was the Mole Man back then. He was my buddy, and I always credited him with any success I ever had, you know, as a wrestler. Which, you know, in all honesty, you know, with all due respect to everybody else locally, I've probably gone a little farther than most of them have. And I would have gone nowhere if it wasn't for this guy, Big Papa Chill, nowhere. He was my beat-up dummy, and he didn't care. We'd go in there, and those 6 days a week that I was there, I'd call him, Chris, that's his name. He'd come over with me. And he'd come, and he didn't care. He'd just lay down there and let me try these moves on. Bam, and it hurt. Maybe his nose would be bleeding, but he'd lay there and let me try it again every time. You know what I mean? And I guarantee I'd have never gone anywhere if it wasn't for that guy.
Kenny Casanova.
Kenny Casanova, of course. He is the Casanova, the Ayatollah of Rockarola, if you will. Kenny Casanova, yes.
He's got a lot of things going. He's been wrestling like the Steve Corino. This guy is something else, like the 1-2-3 Kid, and they defended up against him. He's been up against the Mole Man, and I'll tell you what, the Mole Man is something that you don't even want to go against. But you know the thing about it, I understand now that you and Mole Man are teaming up on the Amsterdam show.
Well, we kind of have a common enemy, as TC was mentioning earlier. Attitudes in professional wrestling break out all the time. A couple of the guys that we went to school with, Danger and Hazard, Damage Incorporated, they kind of rubbed us the wrong way, and in their hometown, Amsterdam, New York, the Mole Man and I are going to team up. And we're going to teach them a lesson right there where their mommies and daddies can see it.
My first time of meeting you, I crossed paths with you in New Millennium Wrestling in Rochester. Gary Steinmiller, you were training up there. Talk about your experience in New Millennium Wrestling.
That was cool. You know, Gary Steinmiller, he was a good guy. I haven't seen him in years. But, you know, he had a little bit of money and a little bit, he just wanted to do some cool things for kids, you know. And he liked wrestling, and there was these kids in wrestling that wanted to be involved in wrestling, you know, and he had a little bit of dough. So, you know, he bought a ring and did the whole thing. Wanted to start a wrestling school, wanted to do it right. So, of course, if you're going to do it right, you're going to get me. So he gets me, you know, and that was where I first started training Dunham Marcos, the Ring Crew Express, and those guys are my pride and joy. Those are the highlights of my personal career. I trained probably 40 guys through that school to one degree or another. Guys would come in, I'd beat them up, they'd quit, or guys would come in and they'd have attitudes and I'd kick them out, or whatever. Some guys would just be all right, but they just wouldn't get to that next level. There's a lot of guys up there I love, and I don't want to say that they're all bad. Like Big Cat Lemmer's still up there. He's a badass wrestler, you know, man, and he's a great kid with a great heart. But Dunham Marcos, yeah, those guys are my boys. Those are my biggest pride that I have in the wrestling industry for sure.
Right around the same time you were broke into ECW.
Well, that was weird, actually. That was, again, paying your dues. And ECW, that's something that's hurting with the wrestling industry right now. A lot of people watching this right now, you think you think you're in the business even. A lot of people that are this is no offense, but I'm halfway out of the business, so I can burn any bridges I want to. Truth is, even some of the people that you show on your show every week, they think they've paid their dues. They think they know the business, but they don't. It's you go in there and you bust your I mean, I hope that I can say it. But bust your ass, that's all you can do. And I would set up that ring every day. I would go there. For 5 months, I went to ECW to every single show for no pay. And this is like my line I always say, and people don't believe me, this is true. I would set up and tear down the ring, wrestle, referee, and ring announce, and sell T-shirts on the same show every night for 5 months. Bill Alfonso, everybody knows, of course, takes me aside one day. We're in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. The day after I found out my wife was pregnant, God bless her. And I was at the point like, okay, I got to get a job or I got to go home. There's no in between, you know, and like, you know, fate chiming in, God, for those who believe, I happen to, and that's what was coming into play here. He sat me down. Chris Chetty, Danny Doring, Roadkill, DeVito, who of course is a major part of my career that we'll get to later, Angel, a couple of guys that were on Ring Crew. They're all sitting there in a circle. And Fonzie looks at me and he says, okay, this meeting's about you. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, I want you to know that everybody in this circle over the last month has come to me and asked that I get you a job with this company. You show up when you don't need to. You pay your dues. You show that you want it. Starting January 1st, you have a full-time job here if you want it. And I'm like, woo! So that was awesome, you know. So then I go on, still doing the same thing, still wrestling, refereeing, ring announcing, doing the whole deal. Tommy comes up to me and says, all right, now I'm going to give away a little bit of business secrets, but in this day and age, everybody knows. So you can edit it out if you want to. But he says, all right, I'm going to go out there. I want you to cut a promo in the ring. You know, tell everybody that, you know, we're in Milwaukee tonight, and this is my hometown, which everybody knows is bull crap. But, you know, this is my hometown. Steve's going to hit you with a cowbell, go down, get some color, you know, and I cut this promo on Steve Corino, and the people are right with me, and I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills right now talking about it, you know. I mean, like people were, and I had never done it on that level. I was always on the indies. You remember years ago, I was always the heel. I was always the bad guy. Here I am trying to be the good guy. From the first time I do, it's on national TV, you know, and it's going great. Steve hauls off, hits me with the cowbell. I go down, ready to do what I got to do, but it was too late. Psst, 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 psst. I see with my pulse, the blood coming out on the canvas. And here's the funny thing. If you rewind and watch that tape ever, you can see me, for one, trying to hold the blood in with my hand because I'm panicking, and for two, because I'm the little boy on Ring Crew trying to wipe it up with my other hand because I'm like, oh, somebody's got to clean up this ring later. It's going to be me. You know what I mean? And so that was like my TNN debut. And then came time for Dusty and Corino to have their blow-off on pay-per-view, and Dusty, unbeknownst to me until about 10 minutes before we went on air for the pay-per-view, Dusty requested me to ref the match and to go out and be kind of a biased referee in Dusty's favor.